It was announced on a conference that the Vancouver Canucks and the LA Kings will play 2 preseason games in China to start off the 2017-18 season, and this is going to be really, really cool. Now, I know a lot of you Vancouverites out there watching this video are thinking, what do you mean play in China? They already play in China, as the lower mainland is filled with Chinese people. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real China. Shanghai, Beijing, we are all the way over there. And this is going to be really cool to watch. You know, it's nice as a Vancouver fan to see your team on international ice. The Canucks played in Japan a long time ago against, I believe it was Anaheim. That was interesting. I didn't get to watch that because I don't think I was born. But this session that we have going on of the Canucks and the Kings playing each other in China, this is cool and all. It'll be nice to watch. But it's an interesting take on this problem that has been going on for the past little bit, as the NHL is basically confirming, yeah, we're gonna go to Beijing. And by Beijing, I mean the Olympics. We're gonna go to the Olympics when it's in Beijing, but there's the whole stir of controversy around Gary Bettman right now as the messenger for the NHL, as he's basically saying, yeah, we're going to Beijing, but we're not gonna go to South Korea. And this is weird. You know, this has been a topic that has been going on for quite a long time. This has been controversial for quite a bit now, and I haven't really given my thoughts on it yet. And of course, what I'm gonna say here is like, yeah, they should play in South Korea, they'll expand the market, blah blah blah, NHL not being smart, and they're really short-sighted right now. Yeah, that is all true in my opinion. The NHL using not a big hockey market as an excuse to not send these players to the Olympics, it's just, like, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, really? You got a game that has already been preceded. There have been a lot of popular sports in North America. You know, we got basketball, football, baseball. Hockey was always the fourth one out of those. Some may even argue that the MLS belongs in that classification of popular sports too, but honestly, you still got those big 3: basketball, football, baseball. Those 3 are always going to stay up there. Hockey has been climbing down. In my opinion, I think even sports like MMA have already taken over hockey as that 4th sport, and hockey is just not in the right place when it comes to how well it's growing. Sure, we got a lot of great talent coming up. We got a lot of kids watching the game. We got a lot of kids over in Europe watching the game. Hockey's popular here. It's popular in Canada. It's popular in Europe. It's a Canadian national sport, man. But take a look at North America. You see where hockey ranks amongst those markets, and hockey is nowhere near as profitable as the NBA, as the MLB, as the NFL, especially with those Super Bowl ads. And we have a game that's played on ice. It's cold. A lot of countries that are near the equator don't have that much access to play hockey, but we're still trying to grow the game because it's a game that people like to play, and it's a great game. It's a growing game. People all around the world can play football, as in soccer. All they need is a ball and a field, maybe even a net. Football is a popular sport because people can play it anywhere, and you don't need to be rich to play it. Hockey, you need to be financially stable, I guess, to be able to afford all the equipment that is required for ice hockey, especially as you grow older, because players grow out of equipment pretty quickly in my experience. So what we have here is 2 hockey markets. We got South Korea, we got China. China, you've seen China when they are participating in sports. China is crazy when it comes to training their athletes and conditioning their athletes to be great at sports. That's what China does when it comes to their discipline and all that. They've got a lot of work ethic and dedication when it comes to athletics. And you got South Korea. South Korea is another country that also takes pride in its athletics as well. But in my opinion, it could be argued that China has had greater success internationally against other countries than South Korea has. But you know, each country has their strengths and weaknesses. And also, the important thing is, each country is able to play hockey. And by this, I mean there are some parts of those countries that they're cold enough to sustain ice. They're cold enough to sustain proper ice hockey conditions. Some other countries down there near the equator, you can't really play ice hockey because by the time you step off, it's already like you're dead in the heat because it's really hot. Now, of course, both of these countries do have times where they do get hot as well, but I'm saying that during seasonal times, these countries can get cold, which means these countries can sustain hockey. You can't go outside to play hockey when it's already 30 degrees, and that is in itself just an opportunity to grow the game. If you have countries that have the ability to have kids play hockey, and hockey is pretty expensive, so having a country like China that's got quite a bit of money, they can provide funds for their kids. You see, the Vancouver Canucks set up a Chinese, hockey camp for kids, and that's pretty cool. I like that. Future NHL stars, man. And South Korea, it's an opportunity to take. Why wouldn't you take this? The NHL is using excuses such as money, the players are getting injured. You remember in the last Olympics, Tavares got a really bad injury and he couldn't play for a few of the games, and that was just unfortunate. But to say that you're going to strip away all your NHL players of having the right to represent their country internationally on the grandest stage of them all, not WrestleMania, the Olympics, man. Some of these players aren't even going to get a chance to do this the next time it rolls around, because the NHL, for sure, they're going to go to China. Yeah, we know they're going to go to China. This setting of Canucks versus Kings in China is basically confirming, yeah, we're going to play in China in 2022. But in 2018, nah, we're not going to go to the Olympics. Now, players like Alexander Ovechkin have already said, if we don't go to the Olympics, I'm going to drop out and I'm going to just go somewhere else so I can play in the Olympics. Ovechkin is a very strong Russian personality, and you're not going to take away that nationalism from him. There are players that are willing to drop the league in order to play in the Olympics, and there are players that are certainly good enough to play in the Olympics from the NHL. And the NHL is just being unreasonable in this point, because what do the fans want to see? The fans want to see some great hockey, and people all around the world will be able to watch some great hockey if the NHL sends their players to the Olympics. And I don't even see why there is a problem with going there. Forget all the reasons they said. Look at the benefits. You see all these South Korean kids that are going to be watching these hockey games right in their backyard. They're going to say, oh man, this is really cool. And they're going to get inspired to play this game as well. That's the same reason they want to bring this game to China as well. And of course, they're thinking, well, Chinese, there's more population, there's arguably greater athletic success. We want to grow this game in China, but there's no reason for them to stir away from growing the game in South Korea as well. Man, this is just unfortunate. I hope that we do see the NHL in the Olympics. Of course, everyone hopes that. I don't know one person who's saying, yeah, I don't want to see them in the Olympics. Let the Miracle on Ice 2 happen again, where we take a whole bunch of random people from random college teams and put them all together and they're going to win gold. That's not what I want to see. I want to see some great hockey on the international stage, and I know that the rest of the world wants to see some great hockey too. Hope you guys enjoyed this video for posting these shows like Oscar Wrestling and Gaming. The Canucks are going to play LA in September in Beijing. That's pretty cool. And bye.